Hello, everyone, and welcome to me turning on the lights. Oh, hello, everyone, and welcome to D&D News. Can you guys hear me okay? No, you cannot. Hold on, let me try and see. How's that? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, good. Yay. Making sure everything is working out. We can hear you too. Thank you for making me feel good in my heart of hearts. That's a song that's going to be a big hit. This is D&D News. How's it going? I am Greg Tito. I am flying somewhat solo today. Mr. Pelham Green needed to get out of here, so he won't be doing a Pelham's Hot Mess. Or a new one, anyway, at 4 p.m. Pacific time today. We'll be running a VOD, otherwise known as a VOD, at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So look for that. But I'm here to tell you everything that's happening in the world of Dungeons & Dragons, including stuff about upcoming releases that are already out, some news and videos that have been dropping all over the interwebs about what's happening with Dungeons & Dragons. I might even show off some fun products. I'll give you a sneak peek of one. It's shiny and new. This is a tiefling sorcerer. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. We are ready for Gamescom. No, we're not ready for Gamescom. Hi, Ninja Theory. How's it going? Gamescom is a big deal, but we won't be there this year. Well, at least officially as a D&D folk, we won't be here this year. But maybe next year. I don't know. We'll see. It should be pretty exciting, all things considered, about what's happening in 2020. So I can't give you too much about that right now. But I can tell you about some of the fun things that, I mentioned some of these in the past, but are definitely worth repeating. Let's talk about Dungeons & Dragons Young Adventurer's Guides. These books have just been getting rave reviews from so many different folks. I just happened to see someone who I have been listening to more as a fan slash a learner. I listen to the Script Notes podcast. Does anybody listen to that out there? I know there's a bunch of creative folks here in the chat. But Script Notes is a fantastic podcast by two screenwriters, John August, Craig Mazin. We've had them on the Dragon Talk podcast in the past because as I was listening to their podcast, they mentioned Dungeons & Dragons quite a bit. They play often, and every once in a while on their podcast that goes into things that are interesting to screenwriters about the craft as well as the business of screenwriting in Hollywood. John August recently touted the Young Adventurer's Guides as one of his one cool thing that he ends the podcast with. John August is a amazing screenwriter. He's done tons of stuff. Most recently, Aladdin, the live-action version of Aladdin that's in theaters now. I don't know. Is it out of theaters already? So he does that, and he's done Big Fish. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, a whole bunch of amazing movies, and mostly movies, as well as I think he writes some novels as well. Anyway, he shouted out Jim Zub's Young Adventurer's Guides in his Script Notes podcast, which always makes me kind of giggle and tingle with excitement whenever they mention D&D stuff. But very cool accolades being thrown, rightly so, on 10 Speed Press, as well as the writers Jim Zub, Stacey King, and the amazing artists that contributed original artwork to these Young Adventurers Guides. And what are they, in case you were wondering? Well, they are tomes devoted to certain topics within the D&D lore and fandom. The first one out there was, and I'm watching Twitter for some reason on there, Monsters and Creatures, which is out now. The monsters listed there are separated by biome or where you might find them in the world, which is an interesting way to group monsters and maybe something we could do for monster manuals in the future. But all about, dragons and fae and undead. Basic concept about what you should do when you encounter them, what you should not do, and how potentially to learn about their characteristics in order to defeat them. So that's Monsters and Creatures. Warriors and Weapons is also out now, about the martial artists out there, what they can do to wield certain weapons and armor, as well as magic items. And that's Very instructive. There's 2 more planned that will be coming out later this year, including Dungeons and Tombs and Wizards and Spells. And I'm looking forward to those a lot. They are very cool. That's right. Cool. That is perfect for young readers, folks who are just getting into finding out about Dungeons and Dragons who don't happen to be young readers. They that runs the gamut as for what the audience might be for those. The Essentials Kit is also another type of thing that runs that gamut. Available now in Targets, and September 3rd, which is, geez, that's very close. That's less than 3 weeks away, really. It is a new boxed set for Dungeons & Dragons play, focusing more on players and what they can potentially bring new to the game. That's what I used to say, but as we're opening it up, the adventure is so easy for Dungeon Masters to begin. There's lots of tactile pieces that allow new players to understand combat rules, mechanics, initiative. There's a beautiful dice set in there, and again, the adventure written by Chris Perkins that is in the same general location and feel as Lost Minds of Phandelver that's in the original starter set published 5 years ago. It's a great product. I love it. I hope more people jump into it when it is more widely available, not just at Target stores. They have been great partners in trying to get it out to a audience that may not know too much about Dungeons & Dragons, but now I am very, very excited to be able to hear the feedback from everybody who's able to pick it up at their local game store and perhaps play it there. So, again, that's coming on September 3rd. Other things that are out in September, there are quite a few of them. I'm going to only go through them quickly because I've talked about them quite a bit, and most of the people that I see here in chat are all folks who already know all about this. But September 17th, Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus will be released into the wild. Everyone will be able to play it and experience its wondrousness. Then it is set first off in the city of Baldur's Gate, one area that we haven't explored very much in 5th edition, so you'll get a gazetteer kind of chapter about what's happening inside the city, and lots of story of what's occurring. And then, depending on what happens, you may go into the first layer of hell called Avernus. A lot of our imagery and set decoration for D&D Live was based on the lower plane of Avernus and what it's like to embody that. You'll have a gazetteer chapter about adventuring on that first plane of or first layer of hell in the plane of the 9 hells. Very exciting stuff there. It'll take you all the way to level 13, that entire campaign, going from level 1 in the prime material world of the Forgotten Realms to level 13, potentially all the way in Avernus. Just a day trip, just hanging out there in hell. There are 2 covers you can get Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus with. The first is painted by Tyler Jacobson, a amazing artist, done many of the covers that you know in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition history, including the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide. I believe he also did the cover for Tomb of Annihilation. But he did the cover with the central figure holding a sword. Hey, I forgot I can actually show it. Instead of just, talking about it, I can show these things to y'all. Yeah, so there it is. The other cover, Descent into Avernus, is created by Hydra 74. It's only available through game stores, which I'm very excited about. There is this amazing Eclipse. I keep on saying Eclipse. Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus Dice and Miscellany. You'll have so much within this box, you won't know what to do with it. In fact, you will know what to do with it because there's so much fun storytelling possibilities within there. I think the dice set itself looks really great. And then the open cardboard, very hard. It's hard cardboard. The thick cardboard, it feels almost like the more well-made wood products you might get at a specialty store or something like that. 2 dice trays, can't go wrong. I'm pretty excited about it. There's also this amazing story coming in winter, I believe, 2020, not 2019. This is Infernal Tides. It's a return to the characters Legends of Baldur's Gate comic books that Jim Zub and Max Denbar had worked on together. Just one of the many projects that Jim Zub is working on. Here's another one, Dungeons and Dragons versus Rick and Morty. Very excited about this boxed set. It will be coming out on November 19th. We'll tell you more about that as we get closer. And then, of course, the Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons Volume 2 is coming very soon as well. Not to mention minis. There will be lots and lots of minis. We should be getting these minis in the office very soon, as it says August 2019 is the release date there. I can't wait to start getting those boxes and popping them open for y'all to see what I get in those blind boxes. That should be pretty neat. I'm excited about it. Speaking of things that I'm excited about and I like to do show and tell with, you know what, actually I'm not going to start with those since I teased with those early. I'm going to talk about this bad boy. This was actually for use with the Waterdeep Dragon Heist storyline. I put this little guy here for scale so you can see just how big this is. This is one of the walking statues available in Waterdeep. You can tell this is a statue. A, because it looks like a statue, but B, because it's got like a little bird's nest up here. Can you see that? Bird's nest, bird's nest. These statues, I've been playing Waterdeep Dragon Heist with my home group, and one of the adventures make note of the walking statues, and I don't think I'd accurately described what these were just available in the city there. I can't wait to start to introduce this element into our game so they can just kind of see how large it is. And again, I think I dropped my scale one. So yeah, this is a tiny mini. This is a berserker, and here it is in that size. It only goes up to like the top of his thing. If you guys remember the Stream of Many Eyes, there was a large foot in the set for the city of Waterdeep, and many people were jumping on it, and this kind of looks about what the scale was. Maybe it's a little bit smaller than what it was. Tons of fun. These are available in game stores. I would ask about where you can get them. We have a few here, and by a few, I mean like 20. So I'm not going to do it here or now, so don't get your hopes up. But I will be organizing some giveaways of these walking statues because I just think they're awesome, and I think you deserve them. You out there, the person who will win that giveaway, you deserve it. It's all for you. Some other cool things is these, as I alluded to earlier, are coming out very soon. These are premium miniatures. One of the things that we realized there is a little bit of a, I would say maybe an annoyance is trying to get the exact miniature that you want for your character or for your game, and the blind box marketplace kind of makes that a little bit difficult. But here you are, able to see exactly what you're going to get. These were, you might have seen packaging similar to this with WizKids Noel Zor's Marvelous Miniatures. Those, of course, were unpainted. They were the old gray plastic or resin that were designed to be able to be painted by the person who purchased them, or perhaps someone else if you were going to employ someone. But these are taking that same kind of idea, but having them be pre-painted, and the fact that you can see exactly what you're going to get. So to my knowledge, there's only 4 character combinations to start. This is a Tiefling sorcerer. He's got a kind of, I wish this focused better. It's got kind of a swirling mysticalness coming out of the rod that he is wielding there, just like a sorcerer would. I don't have any information on pricing right now, but I'm sure WizKids will be able to help me out with that. This is a Dragonborn fighter that is pre-painted to look pretty good. You'll also notice there's a different base. I guess there's a circle base on the side there. And because the base is actually not a circle. So you can use these in ways that you might not necessarily need on a grid. But yeah, they look pretty cool. I like Dragonborn. I will show you another one. Here is an Aasimar wizard. Aasimar, bouncing here and there and everywhere. That's not how the song goes. But this Aasimar looks pretty badass. I like the swirling orange magic happening below, as well as the wingspan being shown there with a pretty cool looking staff being wielded like that. And then the fourth one is totally a combination. You haven't seen it. Oh, wait, no, it is. It's another tiefling sorcerer. I'm not sure exactly why they made two tiefling sorcerers. Can you see that? It's not really focusing very well. I'm going to try and do it like right there. It's focusing on me for some stupid reason. Don't look at me. Look at the thing. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so that's good. I got to move my face out of it, and then it focuses on it a little bit better. Anyhow, this is a different tiefling sorcerer. Looks like it's got some kind of water-themed spell being cast there. Purple hair, pinkish, magenta-ish skin. So if that's a tiefling that you might want, check it out. All right, I'm dropping things, making things happen. I don't have much detail on those other than I know that they are coming. So check it out in your local game store. Always a good way to ping them for when they might have them. Of course, the WizKids website might be able to help as well. All right. Only play wizards. Again, you'll have to speak to WizKids about that. I think that when I spoke to Justin Zoran, president of WizKids, on the Dragon Talk podcast, I asked him kind of point blank, I'm like, why the blind box kind of model? And he said, and I believe him, that it just makes it cheaper for everyone. If they were to do it in this way, they would have to charge a lot for them, which I guess is what they're doing. I guess they realized that there is enough demand for people to be able to know exactly what they're getting in the game store, so they're testing it out. And I think the way, if you want to make this happen more in your marketplace, buy these, make it be known that these are the types of business models that make sense to you. And I think that's pretty cool. Yes, send WizKids your emails is the way to do it. We can get some feedback and send that on as well. But that is that. One other fun thing that is available in stores. I'm actually going to open this up for you guys because I actually haven't opened it yet. But these are dice from our friends at Level Up. These are 2 D20s. So let's pop them open. They're supposed to be metallic and super fun. So let's see what they're like. I probably should have pre-opened this plastic so I wouldn't have to do this live on air. But now you get to see all of this happen. I'm reading the comments as I am doing this. Josie U, that's a good point. I think having both blind boxes and the new ones is probably going to be a good combo for what they're going to do. I'm just glad that they're offering more stuff, finally. Deck 7, ambiguous on the release date for Eberron. You may find out about that soon, but not today. All right, so I'm opening up the package here. I finally got it open. These dice are, again, from Level... so they're at... I'm sorry, they're not Level Up dice. These are from Ultra Pro. They have an up on the side of it. I misspoke. Apologies about that. These are from our friends at Ultra Pro. The UP is not Level Up. It's the Ultra Pro. So don't kill me or anyone else. But these dice are super heavy and awesome. Check out the, I'm trying to get both of the ampersands viewable for you. These are the ampersands. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know how to see these things. They make a really cool sound. Again, yeah, they're heavy. I like how heavy they are. Really great. These, yes, double GXG. Is that Garaf? I think they might have been... the ones that were in the swag bag at D&D Live. So yes, very good. I just dropped it. But I like the feel of them in my arms. I want to make sure I don't forget that. So please, talk amongst yourselves. Please hold. Oh, all right, found it. Good thing I didn't have to move too much stuff around. The fun part about streaming from a storage room is that you can often lose things amongst the storage. Yes, these are not perfect for what I would say a glass table. They will break. They will absolutely break. I've done it before, and they just don't sound as good as they sound as rolling them on a table. Here, let me just... hopefully this is loud enough so that you can actually hear it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Whoa! I got a critical and a 14. That 14 is doing good. I'm not sure I'm crazy about the smallness of this font, but we can try things out and making things happen. I'm rolling with double disadvantage at this point, and yeah, no good. All right, I got a 17 there. Yay! Success was had by all. All right, cool. That's those things. I will now talk about some of the fun stuff in the press. So, I don't know if you guys know this, not everybody does, but one of the larger facets of my job is working with press on what kind of articles that they're developing. We're working on one right now that's really exciting that I can't wait. It's a return to an outlet that we haven't really been in for about 5 years now. So that might give you a clue as to... Actually, it was like 7 years now that I'm thinking about it, because it was after the playtext of D&D Next. Anywho, that'll be coming out, and I'm sure I'm going to highlight it here on D&D News. But I do have some other fun stuff. We've seen a lot of videos be popping up. From D&D Live, folks who were there. Obviously, they captured a lot of video, a lot of interviews, and we've been highlighting them over the last few D&D Newses. But this one, I mentioned this, but I didn't get a chance to really talk about it in depth. This was from our friends at Fandom. They created a 20-minute video, all from, most of it captured from D&D Live, but other parts of it. It's called Defeat Your Demons with Dungeons & Dragons. It's a Fandom uncovered video, and I love this quote. "What makes this game so special is that you have 100% of the agency and none of the real-world consequences." Now that, it sounds, taken completely out of context, that sounds a little terrible. But what it really is going to is that you have the freedom to experiment. You have the freedom to be in a safe space and say and do things that you yourself would not normally, but you get a chance to express yourself. And it's been a theme I've been seeing coming up all over the D&D fandom and the community about how important it is to have those safe spaces around your gaming table. I mean, maybe people don't even realize that that's what is attracting them to the game. They just want to cast some spells and slay some things with a sword with their friends and have that great kind of adventure storytelling moment. But it allows people to, be in the shoes of folks who are different from them, whether they are an elf or a dwarf or an orc or a goblin or someone who is trying to figure out whether or not they are identify as a male or a female or non-binary or any sexuality or orientation. And we've had a lot of people saying how the characters that they gravitated towards playing in Dungeons & Dragons actually started to inform the identity of the person playing them, not just the character, which I find very fascinating and I love. So game on for that. And if you're interested in showing off that video from Fandom, which I think we did get, yes, thank you, Hannah, for linking it there in the chat. I think it's one of those other great videos that would be perfect to show to non-D&D fans, expressing why you think this hobby and pastime is so important for your life. The voice of the video is definitely coming into this as a newbie and navigating those waters through D&D Live, which is like basically being dropped into hot boiling water of awesome fandom. But it does a great job of showing the viewer what it's like to be a newcomer to this community, and I'm hoping more and more people take a look at it. And so, yeah, this is one of those great videos, along with the one created by Carlos Maza at Vox, about explaining to people what is really exciting and important about playing a game like Dungeons and Dragons. So take a look. It's in a book. I just want to follow up with the rest of that quote. You can live a million lives, and yes, it's imagination, but our minds don't always distinguish between what we imagine and what we live, which may be why this game has actually healed so many. Good stuff. Shifting tracks slightly, CNET wrote up a great article about our friends, the Atoms, the Game to Grow folks. They are the group behind Critical Core, which was a Kickstarter in the spring of a role-playing game system that's devoted specifically to helping kids on the autism spectrum deal with social anxieties and the ability to express themselves. So this quote is pretty cool. The company uses a tailored Dungeons & Dragons experience as a platform to help children who have trouble socializing. The goal, provide them with a safe space to solve problems and learn to express themselves. The Atoms have been on Dragon Talk a bunch of times. I want to say at least 2, maybe even more, and so we should have them on again. But it's great to see a outlet like CNET, definitely one that focuses more on technology and the latest, gadgets and phones that are coming out, delving into something that's a very tabletop focused, as well as one that speaks very highly of one of my favorite games out there, that Dungeons and Dragons. So another little bit from this, once the kids are in a group, the focus is simply to give them the space and structure needed for them to express themselves in a friendly social setting. And sometimes that type of environment is all that's needed for a kid who is struggling to really blossom. One note that I want to show is the recent interview that Shelley Mazanoble and Kate Welch had with a fantastic kid on Dragon Talk. We just released that episode on the RSS feed. Check it out. I actually have it downloaded on my phone. I was not there for the interview, so I haven't got a chance to listen to it. But everyone that has is pointing towards how it's an amazing thing. Ethan Holt is 12 years old, and his 6th grade project was getting up in front of the class and talking about something that he loves, and it was why you should play D&D. The talk itself he gave is really great, and actually there's a bunch of clips of Carlos Maza's D&D explainer in that video, and it was really fascinating to have him and his father speak to Kate and Shelley about their experience, how he's blossomed playing Dungeons and Dragons over the last year, a relative newcomer to the game. I mean, he's only 12. What can you gotta forgive him that. I've seen people just say like how great it is for this generation that's coming into playing tabletop games now, and how that's awesome. So check that out if you can. If you're interested in finding a system that would work specifically for that, the Critical Core one from Games to Grow is a perfect way to make that happen. Here's something that's a little bit different. We don't usually get to highlight this. I don't have a image for it, but the Daily Dot recently talked about Lords of Waterdeep as one of the best digital board games to play in 2019. Even though digitally it's been out for at least 3 or 4 years at this point, if not more. One of my favorite board games, and it's also become one of my favorite digital games on the plane, on my phone or whatever. Playing Lords of Waterdeep is fantastic. I usually just do single player, just against the AI computer. I whip their butts, but it's enough to get my thing going. And one of the great things about Lords of Waterdeep, as you've seen probably from watching Pelham's Hot Mess over the last few weeks, is that it is very fun and easy to get into. There's a lot of D&D lore baked into the flavor text, as well as the quests and the lords themselves that you might encounter. But the game itself, the mechanics and how you win, really doesn't have anything to do with Dungeons & Dragons. It's all about placing your workers and getting the right kind of cubes in order to make it happen. My wife, who is a noted non-fantasy / D&D fan, loves playing Lords of Waterdeep, mostly because her brain likes putting together those combination of what I call clerics, rogues, fighters, and wizards, but that she just calls purple, white cubes, black cubes, and orange cubes. That's the other color. All right, so cool. I'm awesome to see that people are delving into it. You can get into the D&D lore without breaking the bank on having any of the minis, and you can get to play as one of the City of Splendor's masked lords, which is pretty cool. Game on for Lisa, who has taken it home in the last few poems, Hot Messes. The one I played, I think you also won the previous one or the next one. So I can't wait for the conclusion of the Lords of Waterdeep triptych, or has it already happened? I guess maybe it already has happened. But very good stuff. We'll be doing that more in a little bit. But before we go much farther here in D&D news, I want to show off what I really love, and that is the D&D Rewind for this week. So this is where we highlight all of the best clips of or more memorable clips of the last week of content here on the D&D Twitch channel. It is edited together by the amazing Steve Sprinkles, and I can't wait to show you this week's D&D Rewind. Here we go.
Opal. I was feeling very unwell, and she is nursing me back to health. She's very good.
Why didn't you just come see me?
I fainted. But I'm fine, but not too fine. I have to stay in the infirmary, I think. I'm not feeling well, but I'm okay, Vasily. Mercy winks several times. Like, really obviously.
Vasily's eyes narrow, very like...
Literally see Okura and a mind flare inside of the ship. Not a mind flare, but an intellect devour, and you see it slowly mist away. And you see Okura start to convulse at this exact same moment. And then a complete green energy light comes from the sky surrounding Okura for a second. And you see runes all around her flare up and leaving a burning sigil of the Ouroboros all circling around her, and she just bamfs out of existence. And the Intellect Devourer appears exactly where her skull was at that exact same moment. Not looking around, but just crawling around.
What are you doing, Rin?
I kind of feel like the library might have answers.
So Rin,
like, I really feel like,
I
really feel like it's because if we're
I love that.
because I feel like there's more there's information up there.
Walk. So as everyone is looking around, you walk back up, running to the library. You run into the library. You shut the door behind you, and
he loses Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
He never had it.
Oh,
because I wasn't there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So
He just exit stage right.
Yes. So no, you do that, and you're in the library, and at the library on one of the tables is Leaf.
Hey, Leaf.
Oh, hey.
Do you have any information on, I guess, the end of the world? I know it's a very generic question.
To you, friend. And he levies the battle axe after I take your head. But first, get up. You're stronger than this, Krull.
We knocked him out. I mean... the shadow me is like going...
So what was your stealth, by the way?
I don't know, I didn't roll it.
Well, roll a stealth. Let's find out.
I thought you animated Crow.
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Yeah, she did.
About Van. These ornithopters of his. I just don't. Never mind.
Oh, no, go. And I'm going to sit back down. I'm going to grab an unfinished beer that's on the table next to me and sit back down and no, go on, please.
Okay, so hold on a second. Okay, so you take your reach over, you grab this bottle of beer and you take a sip out of it. There's definitely at least one cigarette butt in it. Can you make a Constitution saving throw, please?
Okay.
Oh my
All
god.
right, so you weather it perfectly. You just like
runes begin to start scribing into the air around you, and it creates a circle.
What is happening?
Almost, right next to you. And as this happens, you watch as the runes coalesce and begin to slither into a snake that moves around into an Ouroboros.
And it continues, and it just spins too fast.
As sparks begin to fly, or green sparks, and in a flash of green energy, you see a gold-skinned, winged dragonborn laying on its side, blood pouring out of its ears and eyes, and that is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
What type of energy? What you mean? What? I can choose, can't I? So. Lightning.
All right.
Not bad.
Short,
Yes.
sharp shock.
Yep. Oh wait, no. Well, the creature's got to make a dexterity saving throw.
It fails. You're touching it. It's not going anywhere. You, however, might need to make a dexterity saving throw because you're completing the circuit with your other hand.
You're in water.
Okay. So I guess I'll roll the damage for Dragon's Breath.
Right. Right. 7 damage.
And then I should roll a dex save?
Yes. You take 7 damage.
Ba-na! That shark was so big. How I was trying to figure out the scale of that as I was watching it there. One thing about D&D Rewind, when I'm watching it, I don't have any of the audio. I can only watch what's happening and try to guess what everyone's laughing about. But if anyone has any clue as to how big that fish was, you let me know. Was it this big or was it this big? Do you like how I give myself side eye every single time I'm looking at myself? Yeah, because the monitor that I can see is over there, and I want to be looking at you guys there. But then I try to look at myself because I'm vain, and I want to make sure I don't look silly. Great stuff all around. If you want to get your favorite clip of what's happening on the D&D channel on D&D Rewind, well, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can create a clip in the Twitch interface. It's pretty easy. You just kind of select when the beginning and the end is. If you see a specifically funny or memorable or wonderful role play moment, make a clip of it, share it out on social media, let everyone know, tout it out across the world, maybe tag in some of the people who are in that clip and they might help spread the word. The more views and buzz goes around each one of those clips, that makes it easier for Steve Sprinkles to stack rank them, and it will most likely end up in D&D Rewind. So make it happen, get more stuff out there. I love that feature of D&D Rewind and that it might get more people excited about watching different content that's here on our channel, but also across the interwebs of things happening in the Dungeons and Dragons world. All right. Some other stuff I want to update you on is Extra Life. We are in our 7th year of participating in Extra Life, raising money through playing of games for the the Seattle Children's Hospital, or any hospital within the Children's Miracle Network. We have raised more than $500,000, and we hope to raise even more going forward. There is a team devoted to this D&D team. We have raised, as I said, tons of money. Our group always ends up in the top 5 of those who ends up raising. There is in a specific day, Saturday, November 2nd is the day this year in which people will be playing tons of video games, raising money, doing fun things for their community to raise that money. The D&D team does it a little bit different, that we kind of have more of a season where we talk about Extra Life and raise money for it. So many of your prominent figures that you know and love here on the D&D team have pages, including me. So check out my page. I have a few higher end ticket items in there about getting guest spots on Dragon Talk. I think they're totally worth it and should be tons of fun, and we can't wait. But there is a smaller price point one for $100. I will say 100 words of whatever you want me to say on a Dragon Talk episode, within reason. I'm not going to say anything that's offensive or terrible, but it's a great way for you to shout out your dungeon master, say a little in joke, get some fun messages out there for the entire D&D community to know about your group. Also, by raising money for Extra Life, that can make it happen. I'm trying to come up with ways to add to my list of things there. I don't know if I'm playing in a Extra Life game as we're getting closer to it, but there may be other ways to do that. There's also T-shirts that will be available via Custom Ink. I think the actual one that's listed in here is no longer active, but we're working hard on getting new designs up for purchase on Extra Life, or in support of Extra Life. All the designs are by the inimitable Emi Tanji. She does great work, and she's done T-shirts for the last few Extra Life promotions going forward. There's also tons of people in the AL admin community that have done amazing work in raising money, including Alan Patrick and Greg Marks. Chris Lindsay, Nathan Stewart, and Bart Carroll have all done a fantastic job raising tons of money as well. So look at their pages. They have lots of things available, including certificates, AL certs as they're called, for cosmetic items that you can incorporate in your Adventurers League character that you can only get through Extra Life. So check out the ones from Lisa Penrose, who, as well as anybody here. Greg Marks has already raised $10,000. What the heck? He is the king. He is definitely the king. I saw him say, recognize that I recognized him. So he is now officially the king of the D&D Extra Life. That is, unless Nathan Stewart can make it happen. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So I mentioned Adventurers League, but let me go into some more fun stuff about that. If I can find it in my here little listy thingy. I went the wrong way. Got to go down, not up. And then I went too far. Now I got to go back up. So Adventurers League is an amazing program that is run by amazing people who may or may not be in this chat right now. It is the D&D official play campaign, means that you can take that Adventurers League character and take it anywhere an Adventurers League event is being run, whether that be at a local game store or at a convention or on the bottom of the USS Nautilus fighting a hammerhead shark that's way, way too big. You can play it there and bring it around. And some news on the Adventurers League tip. The survey results for the Adventurers League Season 9 rules update are in, and the admins are busy reviewing all of that feedback. There was a lot of responses given to that survey, so it's going to take a little while to collate and read and listen. But one thing that I do want to say is that the Season 8, the Adventurers League season just wrapped up, and for those of you who don't know, the content in the D&D Adventurers League generally follows the D&D book releases, and they have a season of content that's new that you can't get anywhere else. That's only a part of the Adventurers League, new adventures and such. Follow the seasons of those books and those releases. So again, Season 8 is kind of wrapping up now, and we're prepping for Season 9, which will be around Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. We'll get to that in a second. But Season 8 made a big adjustment to how magic items were earned within the D&D Adventurers League. Items were unlocked and purchasable with treasure checkpoints, essentially. It was like a new term that was come up during your adventuring. The admins of the Adventurers League heard everyone's response and feedback that this type of system broke the immersion of the game, and they're zeroing in on new magic item rules for Season 9, looking at ways to allow you to keep the magic items as you find them, and you'll be able to check out dndadventurersleague.org for the full set of guidelines that are currently under consideration. So good note there. D&D and D&D Adventurers League is not created in a vacuum. We definitely know that people will have opinions and feedback, and we have prided ourselves, we at the Wizards office as well as the admins of the Adventurers League, listen to what's happening and the feedback out there. And I think that's been a really big tenet of the D&D Next playtest leading into the success of 5th edition. So we're going to continue that trend going forward. And as I said, Season 9 is going to be beginning very soon. The first Adventurers League modules to be released in the Descent into Avernus storyline are now listed on dndadventurersleague.org. Those adventures are called Hungry Shadows. The shadows are hungry. There's a shadow in front of my face. It's hungry now. There's also Day of the Devil, which, usually it's a Night of the Devil or a Night of the Living Dead. But a Day of the Dead or a Day of the Devil, it's a different kind. I like what they're going for. So Day of the Devil is the other title out there. The public releases for those adventures will be on dmsguild.com on October 29th. I'll get to DM's Guild in a moment. But before I do that, I want to shout out and show off some amazing folks who were playing D&D Adventurers League in the Salt Lake Gaming Con. They raised just shy of $1,000. Look, there's Jason Charles Miller. Everyone loves Jason Charles Miller. He just told me he was going to be at Salt Lake Gaming Con, and it looks awesome. I didn't get to see the video of that. Look, I love pictures of seeing out-of-focus gamers behind them and gamers in front. This is fantastic. They raised all this for the Mascot Miracle Foundation throughout the event during this charity epic. This is good stuff. Ooh, that skull is pretty creepy. Was that just a mask, or is that prosthetics? I don't know. Maybe Dustin Fletcher can tell us that, the expert here in the chat. Good stuff all around. I really do like. Look at I'm just looking at the cosplay. Really, the purple tiefling, the green witch, skull man, pig. Is that the guy from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Is that Rocksteady? Is that what his name was? That's Perkins. That's not Perkins. Is that a different person named Perkins? Porkins. Porkins? No. Anywho, the Elphaba. Green Witch. Dungeon Masters Guild is lets you publish your D&D 5th edition creations for fun and a little bit of profit. It's the only platform where you can publish adventures and supplements with the Forgotten Realms, Ravenloft, Ravnica, and others wizards, settings, heroes, characters, and more. It is also the place where all of the Adventurers League, I have to point like this when I'm talking, Adventurers League Adventures gets published. And there are a wealth of them available on Dungeon Masters Guild right now. And as we said, they will be available. The Season 9 ones will be available very soon. So the Dungeon Masters Guild would love to wish a hearty congratulations to the 2019 summer graduates of the RPG Writers Workshop. The RPG Writer Workshop, sponsored by DM's Guild, is designed to help aspiring authors write, produce, and publish their first RPG adventures. The workshop has an active community with more than 1,000 visitors and writers. Why did I say visitors? I don't know. Maybe it's because I was doing and I would walk 1,000 miles and I would walk 500 more. Check out the front page of the DMsGuild.com for the featured banner linking to bundles of all of the graduates' adventures. And you can save 33% or more. Plus, there is a short list of top picks. And here's a selection of the covers. Here's Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 1, Volume 2. There's also some really fun stuff happening. More exciting news, as Lisa put in here with an exclamation point at the end. More exciting news! DM's Guild joins the D&D Twitch network. Dungeon Masters Guild Design Dash. That's right, a new show premiering this Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, hosted by Lisa Penrose and co-hosts including DM's Guild staffers and Guild adepts. Each episode throws 3 D&D designers into the arena, where they have 15 minutes to fulfill a 5th edition D&D design challenge. I think that's very, very cool. Some of my favorite people, including Alex Klippinger, Oliver Clegg, and Jen Vaughn. What up, Jen? They will be the first 3 in the Design Dash competition. Which designer will reign supreme? My bet is on Jen Vaughn, mostly just because I know she's here in chat and I want to give her a high five. Yeah, you're going to make it happen. Keep an eye out on @DMs_guild on Twitter after this episode to vote for or after when that episode airs this Friday at 11 a.m. To vote for your favorite contestant you'd like to return next month to fast new contenders. I'm not sure what word you were intending to put in there, but fast new contenders? You mean meet new contenders? I think that's what it's what's going over there. Face, not fast. There you go. Thank you, Lisa. I don't know why my brain didn't go to face instead of I went to meet. Which makes no sense. But you guys are fantastic. I am excited that there's this new piece of content coming out there, something I've always loved to do, which is combine something I love. I'm doing that again, the Venn diagram. The fun of competition art shows like Iron Chef or what's that one on Netflix that I love that's actually making fun of it? It is the one where they're Nailed It. That's it. Nailed It. Shows like that versus the fun of game design. I think melding those together is awesome and I can't wait. So let's check it out on Friday at 11. And kudos to Lisa to putting this all together, as well as for typing up all of these things with no typos and or wrong words whatsoever. You're a good person. All right, so there is a lot of fun people making great adventures, as you saw on our D&D Rewind. We've got a full slate of schedule coming up, so I wanted to make sure I highlight some of those as we get closer. Again, there is no more... there's not a new Pelham's Hot Mess this afternoon at 4 p.m. We'll be running a VOD from a previous episode of that. So, that's the first thing you need to know about the schedule. Tomorrow, at Wednesday at 9 a.m., there is Roll20 Presents Jace Beleren Must Die. Good stuff. I love everyone on that cast, including Adam Coble, the Dungeon Master with Carlos Luna, TK Johnson. Hi, TK. Masood Huck. And Katie May will be on that. There will be a pre-recorded Dragon Plus with Bart Carroll that will premiere magical item design discussion with Lisa Penrose and Bill Benham. So that's going to be pretty exciting. There is no Heroes of the Veil this week. There is a retreat amongst the fun D&D Beyond employees. They took the week off to make their plans for what's coming up next. So no new Heroes of the Veil tomorrow at 2, but there is a new Acquisitions Incorporated, the C Team, at 4 p.m. Pacific time that we will be hosting. I can't wait for that. Thursday, we will have Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms do their thing at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Thursday, then followed up with Welch's Game Juice at 3 p.m., where that's Kate Welch going through the enhanced edition of Baldur's Gate 2, getting prepped for everything that's going to be happening with Baldur's Gate 3 coming next year, so that should be pretty exciting. And if you're interested in finding out more about the enhanced editions of Baldur's Gate games, you can potentially win a few codes to that game just by watching and participating in the chat for Welch's Game Juice. So check that out, 3 p.m. on Thursdays. We're hosting Critical Role here at 7 p.m. Smaller community, obviously, so a lot more folks getting involved with that. Then on Friday, we will, of course, have Design Dash happening at 11 a.m., as I mentioned. Then at 12 on Friday, Dragon Talk will be streaming. I will be speaking with myself, but also with Chris Perkins and Adam Lee, all about the design of Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. I will be picking their brains most excellently, so let me know if you need anything answered about what's happening in that adventure. They will be the ones to tell you. And then we'll probably follow that up maybe with some Laurie Chanel. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, no Shelley this Friday. That's right, T-Boyce. She is on vacation in upstate New York. So flying solo. I will be most likely on Friday. But it will still be super entertaining, as it always is, as I speak to myself. And Chris Perkins and Adam Lee, of course. And then Tales from the Mists will be... Binwin plays Idle Champions will be at 3 p.m. after we record Dragon Talk. And then it's the return of Tales from the Mists with the amazing Dungeon Master, TK Johnson, with Lisa Penrose, Kayla Klein, Hadil Almasari, and Ashley Warren. There will be 2 guests. There will be also Jen Vaughn and Jason Carl. I can't wait to continue what's going on in Tales from the Mist, and you should too. They have been breaking all kinds of new ground, so I'm excited to see it. Saturday at 12:30, Geek Stable Call of the Kraken will be going on, as well as we're hosting Trace Albus at 4 p.m. on Saturday. Sunday has Rivals of Waterdeep starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. They are always, doing great work. Serena Marie is the dungeon master there, and I'm excited about potentially bringing everyone back for another season with a new dungeon master. I won't tell you which member of the cast will be taking up that mantle, but it's going to be Cicero, and it's going to be great. All right, I just announced it. But I'm excited, and I can't wait, and I love that each member of that group has come to Dungeons & Dragons in a different way and has decided to want to tell their own stories by being Dungeon Master. So I love that. Now it's just up to Brandon he might be the one who's going to take up the mantle next. We'll see. But at the very least, there will be some fun stuff going on at 10 a.m. on Sunday, followed directly by High Rollers Lightfall's Descent at 12 noon on Sunday. That's with Dungeon Master Mark Humes and amazing cast Kim Richard, Chris Trott, Rhiannon Gower, Katie Morrison, and Tom Hazel. Directly after that, Sunday has become like a very, very busy day here on the D&D Twitch channel. 2 to 4 p.m., Realmsmith WizKids has Jason Acevedo painting miniatures using Noel Zor's Marvelous Miniatures. As I mentioned, that was kind of the inspiration, I think, a little bit behind the packaging of these ones, but he will actually be doing the painting, which should be pretty interesting. I always am fascinated by the idea of painting miniatures, but the actual practicality of it, not so much, but I enjoy watching people do it, so check it out. And then finally, we're hosting D4. That's with co-DMs Dustin Fletcher and Devin Henderson. And then lots of amazing players, including Ethan Mansour, Goblin Katie, Raya Watkins, Patrick Logan, and Katie Adkins. They are streaming using, I believe still, correct me if I'm wrong, the Waterdeep Dragon Heist Platinum Box and the Sirenscape Waterdeep Dragon Heist sound pack. So that should be pretty cool. Is there going to be a special guest on D4? He says, looking, yes, it's Oboe Crazy. That's right. Lauren will be playing Orkyra from Heroes of the Vale in an epic crossover event. I'm excited about it. I think everyone should be as well. That is our week of programming here for the D&D Twitch channel. I am Greg Tito. I have enjoyed talking at you this whole time, as has my brother, Bob the Walking Statue. What do you have to say about yourself, Bob? I don't know, Greg. We're just going to have to go watch more D&D happen. Yay! Okay, I've lost it. You guys are all wonderful. I will be back next week for more D&D news happening, but there's a lot of content here to watch this week. See me on Friday when we talk to Chris Perkins and Adam Lee about what's really, really, really exciting about Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. Until then, I'll see you later. Bye, everybody. I'm going to stand here awkwardly while I wait for the button. Bye, everybody.